Well, good Saturday morning on this 22nd day of January 2021. Bill Loveridge here with Community Church of Loyalton's Daily Devotion. Several hundred of these devotions ago, I had one entitled An Audience of One. Well, it's today's title too, but it's not a rerun. Different author. This one is by Zeke Pfeiffer in his devotional book, In Pursuit. And it talks about the importance of integrity and the characteristic that goes right along with it. We'll start with Hebrews 4:13. Oh, and incidentally, if you're unfamiliar with the story of Daniel, you may want to read Daniel 6 to get a grasp on some of the things today. Hebrews 4:13. And no creature is hidden from his sight, but all are naked and exposed to the eyes of him whom we must give account. All three of us jumped. My 10-year-old Aiden squeezed my pant leg. We were standing in a driveway and talking to Mike, the landowner, when a gunshot interrupted the peaceful, crisp night air. The blast came from a gravel road about a half a mile from Mike's house. The gunshot was out of place, and it startled us. The sun had been down for about an hour, and the night was black as coal. I left Aiden and Mike, jumped in my pickup, and sped off to confront the shooter. The moment my headlights lit up the road, I saw another set of lights come on, and the truck raced away. The encounter was over in a moment, but the bad taste in my mouth lingered. Integrity is best measured when you're alone and you think nobody's watching. Integrity is demonstrated through our consistent thoughts, attitude, actions, and values. Rock-solid integrity is empowered by faith in a powerful, all-knowing God. Take Daniel, for example. He had been captured by the armies of Babylon and was living as a foreigner in a distant land. Because of his wisdom and his work ethic, he had risen to a place of prominence in the Babylonian dynasty, capturing the admiration of King Darius. The other aspiring leaders of Babylon hated him for it, so they scrutinized Daniel's life, looking for anything negative or shameful that they could exploit and taint the king's affection. They found nothing. Daniel 6:4 records, the high officials and the satraps sought to find a ground for complaint against Daniel with regard to the kingdom, but they could find no ground for complaint or any fault because he was faithful and no error or fault was found in him. Can you imagine having an entire group of ambitious, intelligent leaders investigating your life in order to find any flaw or sin? The reason that Daniel held up under such vigorous scrutiny was that he was full of faith. Verse 4 tells us they couldn't find anything because he was faithful. Many people can claim knowledge of God and confidently state that they have biblical values. But there's a difference between consenting to the truth and believing in the presence of God. The secret to Daniel's integrity was knowing God was with him at all times, and this knowledge impacted his reality. Daniel knew that whether he was alone in the dark or standing by the king's side in front of an entire nation of Babylon, his primary audience was God. He didn't live to please the king. He didn't live to please his co-workers. He didn't even live to please himself. Daniel had an audience of one, and this motivated him to make wise, honorable choices. Most sportsmen would say that they want to have true integrity, The secret is having a heart full of faith, trusting that God is always present and active in our lives. Hudson Taylor, the courageous missionary in China, said it this way: all God's giants have been weak men who did great things for God because they reckoned on his being with them. When we know God is with us, we act like God is with us. That's faith-driven integrity. Father, I ask that you give me a faith in you so strong and deep that it causes me to make good, honorable choices no matter who's watching. Help me know that you are with me at all times. I desire to be a man of integrity, but I want that godly character to be fueled and impassioned by my faith in you, the living God. Amen. Well, I'm praying that you have a great weekend. Tomorrow, Community Church of Loyalton starts at 10:30, 601 Lewis Street. We'd love to have you there. We'll also be streaming at 10:30 on our YouTube channel, and it'll show up a little later in the day on Facebook as well. Until then, have a great weekend. I'll be back Monday with another devotion. Be blessed.